BetterUp downsizing and secretly relocating to Texas? Hello, friends. Welcome to breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple, Harry and Meghan Markle, on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. Is BetterUp downsizing, and did they secretly relocate to Texas? The Texas Secretary of State office shows BetterUp was formed as a corporation in Delaware. They only applied for a franchise license in Texas in August 2019. The franchise file appears to be missing records as well, so I'd say the DE incorporation data is likely accurate. Not surprising, given the DE advantages. Businesses operating in California, regardless of what state they are registered in, still must pay all kinds of peripheral taxes related to doing any business in that state. Workers' comp alone is mind-blowing. The wages are also indirectly inflated due to CA taxes, so workers can pay for stuff like the highest gas taxes in the U.S. These elites are incredibly non-transparent, so it's really difficult to say what's really going on, but it still kind of looks like they may be leaving the area. Again, that would be another isolating event for Harry. Hopefully, it will expedite his inevitable departure for one of the southern African countries. What I noticed is that my searches were on BetterUp.com, main site, but when I scrolled all the way down where you typically see professional service firms post their physical headquarters address in the lower left, it keeps showing their Austin, Texas address, not their San Francisco address. If you didn't know, the backstory of BetterUp readers would assume BetterUp's headquarters was in Austin. I looked up numerous topics, and it's Austin. Their Austin address, by the way, is the 5th Plus Tillery building. It's a beautiful, high-tech-looking building that is 8 times larger, 182 KSQFT, than BetterUp's San Francisco building, 23 KSQFIT, so there is plenty of room for expansion. Next, I looked up the BetterUp address to see if that building was up for sale or lease and low, and behold, LoopNet shows the entire building is for sale. It's a 2-story building at 1,200 Folsom Street, 23,000 square feet. And Tilda, half of it, 12,000 square feet, is currently open for lease. Considering San Francisco is experiencing an exodus of businesses, it isn't surprising that commercial property owners are looking to unload properties. Going back to when Harry was originally hired by BetterUp in March 2021, I had researched the BetterUp building since Harry's military buddy and defender of Harry for People magazine, Dean Stott, leased a very small office space about a block or so away, which seemed strange. Stott, who has been accused of engaging in charity fraud, moved into a 7-figure luxurious Lake Forest, California home 430 miles away from San Fran, at the same time Harry moved to SoCal. Nice digs for a UK Army vet, BTW. Back in 2021, the Folsom Saint property had a couple of other small tenants, but it appeared that BetterUp leased out most of the space. IDK, who owns the building. Alexei had enough capital to buy it, but that doesn't mean he did. But having over half of the building now vacant and trying to sell it entirely is a data point worth noting. This also syncs with the rumor that Harry was told he could no longer use BetterUp's San Francisco townhouse. If BetterUp is downsizing and is preparing to relocate or already has relocated its headquarters to Texas, it might be selling off the townhouse. It also doesn't necessarily mean that a potential partial or full relocation of headquarters to Austin would be announced to the public or lower-end staff just yet. Comments from staffers reflect very poor communication from top staff down exists, and this is something they may want to keep under the radar until they are ready to fully transition. Many California companies are relocating to Austin and other parts of Texas, as Texas provides a far more business-friendly structure. Austin is extremely left-leaning, and while recreational weed is still illegal in Texas, Austin police have been directed to make no arrests, so open use there does exist, which seems to be important to some of these tech companies. Major CA business leaders like Elon Musk have relocated their businesses there. How would this affect Harry? He'd no longer have his city escape pod available when he needs his space, or his Silicon Valley party pals. There are rumors he is heavy into the drug, sex, big tech private party scene where prostitutes and every imaginable drug is concierge. This means Harry will become even more physically and socially isolated. Texas will not revere Harry. He's a nobody down here. He won't have as much access to other tech billionaires. This move could also be signaling one of many moves towards downsizing and reshaping the business model to increase profits. Will they be going from 5 locations to 4? Will other locations be closing? Alexei and his investors, including Serena Williams' family, didn't get their huge IPO pop, and with interest rates where they are and businesses across America cutting back on costs, and private coaching is an easy cost cut to make, BetterUp's IPO is not imminent. If they can't turn big profits, it may not happen at all. BetterUp is Harry's only employer. If they cut him, how will this affect his visa status, particularly if he and Meghan separate? Who else is going to grant him full-time employment status to stay in the U.S.? If any sinners have a Twitter account, could you please link this post to the Heritage Foundation and Niall Gardner? It may be able to help their legal proceedings. I'd love to hear other sinners' thoughts on this. Please be kind when criticizing. I realize LoopNet isn't always fully updated, and the Townhouse tea is still in the rumor phase. However, how posts are picked apart can greatly affect the willingness of others to share what they are hearing or seeing. Crowdsourcing data helps all of us to connect the dots on this tangled web of duplicitous Sussex deceit. So let's assume OPs are doing their best to bring forward legit info some may be interested in. An insider stated, "Great find on Dean Stott. Wonder what he is up to now. He seems to have gone very quiet in terms of his association with the Hackles." There was gossip back when Harry filmed a segment with James Corden doing a military-style training course that he would be involved in promoting some similar sort of business, but that doesn't seem to have materialized either. I think BetterUp might well be downsizing. San Francisco is a bit of a mess right now, and companies are fleeing and firing indiscriminately. Coaching is something that wouldn't be given top priority to people feeling the pinch. To be honest, I took the Stott to comment out originally because it seemed a little non sequitur, but added it back in because, 1. He's the reason I looked into the BetterUp headquarters building back in 2021. I still don't know what the deal was with the little office space he rented near BU. And 2. So anyone with other info would hopefully add to the discussion. There are dots that need connecting there. You wouldn't believe how posh his Lake Forest house is, and how he ever got a U.S. visa is a complete mystery. He isn't working in L.A. Stott was one of Harry's biggest English Megxit supporters. He also has experience making money off of violating international immigration laws in the name of charity and record-breaking, which is noteworthy. Stott fancies himself a big TV personality and was working on a military training reality TV series in Australia called SAS Australia. I thought that Harry might partner with him or his wife on a Netflix project, but apparently not. He and his wife Alana are ridiculously OTT self-promoters, stretching the truth to the point of incredulity. She's a beauty pageant queen who claims to be some sort of pirate battling expert. Like actual CR pirates, not internet ones. It seems like Stott mainly hires himself out to show up to wealthy elite dinner parties to regale the guests with stories from the battlefield while drinking their vintage wine and champagne. Like giving them your Taliban kill count, Dean? Another said, "Sounds like BetterUp's trying to curb its spending, like Netflix and Spotify. Don't think Harry will be let go unless the connection becomes toxic. At the moment, I'd say it's not making much difference, especially if BetterUp believes they'll get DoD contracts because of Harry. They could drastically reduce his salary and perks while still keeping him on the website for window dressing. It's not like he does any work anyway. But this still provides another Markle effect data point, even though there are many other factors involved. If just Harry signing on with BU had launched BetterUp's sales into the stratosphere, any move would more likely be to a safer part of the Bay Area versus Texas. And the thought of Harry working for repping a Texas company is pretty funny when you consider where his and Madam's priorities lie. Hayseed Hank Does Texas. I can't wait to bump into them at the big original Fort Worth gun show at the Will Rogers Center next month. That there's funny. He needs a get-her-done hat. Either way, I really wish they would downsize. In fact, downsize away until they disappear. These snake oil salesmen are laughing at their customers. Who the hell would listen to all the utter bullshit they come out with, then pay out money to them to coach their staff? I would really worry a lot if my manager attended one of their seminar things or whatever they are, then seriously thought buying their coaching services was a great way to improve staff performance. Not that he would. He'd probably piss himself laughing, especially if Harry was a guest speaker. A source said, if Cap Metro's expansion plan spans over the next 2 decades, BetterUp could easily stay there for years, or they could look for other space in Texas. Cap Metro will only be using a little over half of the 182 KSQFT when they move in at the end of 2024. BetterUp needs a minimum of 6 months to plan a move in Texas to allow for shopping, negotiating, then completion of the essential tenant improvements if they're not extending their current lease. Their lease expires in 4 months from when the article dropped. 6 to 12 months is standard here, so they may be staying. It's otherwise vacant space to Cap Metro, so it will be cash in hand to let them stay. How fun for BetterUp to work around construction noises and debris for the next 17 months. If BetterUp operates in Europe, could this be where some of the mysterious Archewell money was donated as per their 2021 financials? Europe was listed as donations without specifics. Is there a possibility that Harry's BetterUp salary is really a tax write-off donation to Archewell? That, in turn, is donated back to Harry's pocket, funneled through a donation to Europe, as per his citizenship. Can Harry even work legally in the U.S.? Is that partially why his visa situation, even which visa he's on, is such a cluster cluck and secret? The wording is confusing, but I think the phrase, whether BetterUp plans to relocate is unclear, refers to BetterUp either extending their current lease with the new owners or relocating to a new Austin office complex after leaving the 5th plus Tillery building. They've been at that address for the last couple of years. BetterUp hasn't announced where their Austin offices will end up if Cap Metro doesn't renew their lease. The purchase just closed, and BetterUp's current lease extends through October. It would be smart for Cap Metro to renew the lease since the space would otherwise lay vacant, but since they are part of the City of Austin government, saving the taxpayers' money isn't necessarily a priority. We'll have to wait and see, but there's plenty of room for Cap Metro to allow them to stay. One insider shared, if I remember correctly, Harry's payment from BetterUp is linked to them going public. Some sort of share options or such. It was discussed here at the time that bank went bust. So my guess is he is not that easy to get rid of. But you can get him out of the San Francisco townhouse, just like King Charles got him out of Frogmore. We won't know what it is until BetterUp goes public, but the issuance of any new stock option grants which are exercised is dilutive. So whatever they grant to Harry will dilute everyone else's shares. The people building up the company and market cap get very, very protective of the value of their options closer to the IPO, as in ferociously protective. Harry joined shortly before a big fundraiser, but I'm not sure how much, if anything, his name title helped to bring in. It sounds like no added increase as PE funds were the primary series investors. Option vesting can also be tied to results, although Harry's, if any, as a useless former royal, is more likely tied to the passage of time. Current option holders can be willing to trade some of their value to an outsider if they believe that person will raise the total value to a level that fully recovers what they are giving up. It wasn't Alexi's first rodeo, so he understands this. I doubt Harry can do that. Alexi is a moron if he granted Harry any future options not tied to any KPIs for Harry after his initial signing. But Alexi also hired the Prince of Taj to begin with, so he kind of is a proven idiot. It's interesting how little they use Harry, though. If he was really lined up to receive tens of millions cut out of the other founders' and investors' pies, one would assume they'd be rolling him out to all kinds of corporate events 24/7 to woo companies to sign up with BetterUp. Put him on Cameo and make him record stupid messages, do anything to drum up new business. But Harry does almost nothing. For that reason, I doubt he has much of a stake. Regardless, BetterUp, despite all their hype, isn't in great shape right now. There is no IPO on their current horizon. With every month that passes, more people figure out what a scam they are. In the meantime, new providers using AI may likely enter the market as they will be able to provide nearly the same experience at a lower price by removing the staff costs. BetterUp coaches already follow pre-written scripts. AI will be able to do this more efficiently. Then it will be up to the clients as to how much they want to pay for technological cheerleaders, which is really all they're getting either way. It would be way cheaper and far more rewarding to go adopt a dog instead. What do you think about BetterUp's move to Texas? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this newsletter. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.